Laura, thank you very much indeed for joining us on the show. Now, you're here in COP28. Can you shed some light on the role of UN Women and your role specifically?
Sure. So thank you so much for having me. So UN Women is at COP28 this year, really to shine a light on the interlinkages between gender inequality and climate change. And my role is, well, we're launching a new report on feminist climate justice. So I've just launched that this morning, and we're also working on the negotiations to make sure that we get a good outcome for women and girls.
Incredible. Congratulations on launching the report firstly. But can you shed some light on what the link might be between environment and gender?
Definitely. So we see increasing evidence of these linkages, and because women and girls tend to be poorer than men and boys, they have less access to jobs, to economic resources and so on. When extreme weather hits, it's much more difficult for them to recover and rebuild. And so we're seeing a lot of different impacts on women and girls. We've seen over the years a lot of progress on issues around child marriage, for example, but in areas of environmental stress, we're actually seeing an increase in child marriage for the first time, because families are under pressure, they're under stress, and so they're having to make very difficult decisions for their daughters. We also see an increase in women's unpaid care work. So that's work to collect firewood, to collect water, to prepare food for their families. So, you know, that work becomes more difficult, you know, when you have droughts and floods and so on. And so women and girls are having to do more of that kind of work as well.
Very impactful work indeed. And how important was it for you to launch this report here at COP28 in Dubai?
I mean, it's the place to launch it, right? Because governments from around the world are coming to discuss this really tricky issue of climate change. And we really wanted to make sure that they were putting women and girls at the center of their climate action as they're, you know, negotiating all the different aspects of this. So yeah, very important to be here. And we really hope that policymakers will take a gender perspective, will think about women and girls as they're negotiating the outcome.
Absolutely. And how do you believe that this COP, specifically in Dubai, has been different to previous COPs in the past?
Well, UN Women, we have an office in UAE, and we work quite closely with the government, and I think the government has put a very strong emphasis on gender equality, which has been really welcome. So we've done a number of events with the UAE, including a really important two-day conference on gender and environment data. So really trying to increase the evidence that we have on the linkages between gender and environment, and then making sure that policymakers use that evidence. So we partnered with the COP28 presidency on that, as well as a number of other organizations. And I think the COP presidency has made a lot of space for gender equality issues, which has been really good to see.
Incredible. And for our viewers at home, if they want to get involved, if they want to educate themselves or even help volunteer in any way, how can they get involved with supporting gender equality globally, right here from Dubai?
Well, I mean, they could visit the UN Women website. There's a whole load of resources on there about different gender equality issues. We cover a whole range, including on violence against women, on climate change, on economic empowerment, and so on. So they can visit the website and find out more.
Okay, great. Laura, firstly, just want to thank you for your incredible service to gender equality, and thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.